Hey guys, well, I have some new goodies to play with, so I thought we would do another video. I had done another video, I don't know what day it was. It's been a day or so ago, a couple days, I can't remember. Time escapes me now. So you may see that one first, or you may see this one, and I can't promise they're going to be like super close together, and then again they could be. I don't know, my life is a little bit crazy, and when you see the other video I did, you'll understand a little bit more. So Natasha Denona had a new collection come out. I, if you don't know, am a very big fan of Natasha Denona. I have quite a lot of her palettes. Not all, I don't have all, but I do have quite a lot of her midi palettes. I don't have a lot of the bigger palettes. I think I only have one of the bigger ones actually, and I just love her formula. I love her aesthetic, most of her aesthetic. I'm not a huge fan of colors, so some of her more colorful palettes I'm not like dying to have. Maybe one day I'll collect them all, who knows, but for now I decided this collection was her dream collection. She named it My Dream Collection, and it's also a collection that is something I probably would dream up myself. So here's the packaging of, this is like the outer packaging of the palette itself. It has a paint splatter on here, a little bit different from her normal packaging, because her normal packaging doesn't have anything flashy or anything like this for sure. It's just very clean, and so it's a little bit different. She is a makeup artist, so this is kind of artistic in a way, and I think it's beautiful. So I've not watched a lot of reviews on this, but I had seen some, and I've seen that some people love it, some people hate it. I think it's cute, so I do love this. Here's the actual palette itself, very much like the outer packaging, and it has kind of almost like a soft matte feel, you know, kind of like that rubbery feel. Does that make sense? And here is the palette itself. It is so beautiful. I'm going to try not to blind you. It is so beautiful. This is a palette that just screams me. I love this so much. When I saw it, I didn't actually see like the outer packaging or even know that it was her palette at the time when I saw it. Someone had did a like Will I Buy It on YouTube, and I just kind of saw like their thumbnail, and this palette was on there, and I was like, oh, that kind of looks like a Huda Beauty palette. Just the color scheme is all I was going on, because I've seen a lot of people compare these to her other palettes, and we'll kind of do that too. One that I've seen a lot of people compare it to is the Retro palette, so I'll hold these up together so that we can look at these and see. I feel like there's more warm tones in this new one, and yes, there are purples, but there are very few purples in this new collection. You know, it's not an all purple palette, like that's kind of like the pop in the new palette. So I don't see that it's like the exact same palette like a lot of people said. Still very beautiful and very complimentary. I just don't think it's the same thing. I also wanted to just kind of pull out the Glam face palette for a second. This is the dark version. And I just was thinking about maybe some of the warmer tones in here kind of correlating with each other. Nothing spot on though. And I more so had this lighter palette in mind when I was thinking about comparing them. So you can kind of see a little bit of comparison here, kind of same shades, like this one and this one are a little similar. You know, there are some similarities. I don't see any, like, I don't think anything is the exact same shade. There are two repeating shades though, I will say that. This Black is Black, that has been in, she did a single of that one. It was in, I know, the mini Xenon. It may have been in another palette, but also the shade here in the middle, which is called Serenity, I believe that was in the Star palette, so that is a repeating shade, but the other ones are not. This is the Glam palette, which is my favorite Natasha Denona palette. And I see a lot of similarities between these two. However, I feel like the Glam palette is a lot more cool toned, cool neutral, and there's a little bit more warmth in the My Dream. So very pretty. And when I was thinking of Huda Beauty, I was thinking of this palette here. This is the Rose Gold Remastered palette. So I was thinking that this kind of looked a little similar to that. There's a deep shade. There's like the deep black in there. These little taupey colors in there. Some warmth in there. So, you know, this kind of put me in mind. And I'm not seeing anybody compare this. I'm not saying they haven't. I've just not seen it yet. So this kind of was a little bit more along the same lines. Not necessarily purples in the Huda Beauty, but just kind of like, just a mix of warm and cool tones. So enough talking about it. I want to play with this palette. I do want to swatch it for you. So I will swatch row by row, and we'll just kind of get into it. So here's the top row. This first one is called Blackest Black, Aspiration, Serenity, Carpe Diem, and Babies. And so this is the repeating shade, and this is the repeating shade. So Blackest Black and Serenity are repeating shades. So this one is a creamy matte. This one is a creamy matte. Serenity is a duochrome. Carpe Diem is a creamy matte. And Babies is a metallic. So you can tell the difference in Serenity and Babies, and I hope you guys can kind of see, maybe in that lighting there, see how the reflection on Babies is like super metallic. And this one is a duochrome, but it's not super metallic, basically. So very beautiful still. I love this. I can make a look out of this top row right here, and I love it so much. Okay, so here's the second row swatch. We have Instinct, Thrill, Unity, Risk, and Invention. This one is a cream to powder. I love these shades, by the way. Thrill, I believe, is a duochrome shimmer. So I believe, because some ways it looks gold, and then others it kind of looks like a, almost kind of like pinky shift to it, and it has a lot of shimmer to it. So I think that that's why it's called a duochrome shimmer. And then this middle shade is a creamy matte. Risk is a metallic, and Invention is a duochrome shimmer. So you have that like golden orange, you know, shift there. Okay, so this is the final row. I think this first one is the one everybody is talking about. This one is called Vision. Edgy, Spontaneous, Nurture, and Familia. I believe this one is what she calls a multi-chrome, because you guys kind of see like a purple shift in this. I'm seeing the green. So there's like gold, green, purple. It's like so shifty. You can see so many things in that one. So it's very beautiful. This here is a cream to powder. Spontaneous is a metallic. This is a creamy matte, and this is a creamy matte. So very beautiful. This is the shade everybody's talking about, and everybody's loving out of this one. So very, very beautiful. Okay, so let's make a look out of this palette. I'm going to go in with the center shade called Unity. So like I was saying, everybody has talked about this Vision shade, and while it is absolutely gorgeous, since everybody else doing a look with this is using this, I'm not going to. It's not going to be like super different or new or out of the box or anything. But I just thought I would do something different with the palette, since so many of the reviews I have seen, people are using that shade. Then I'm going to take Carpe Diem right here, and I'm just going to kind of deepen it up a bit. I don't necessarily need to, but since it's kind of like my first, you know, use of the palette, I want to use a few shades. See how there's just a little bit more dimension to this eye just because I did deepen it up? It just, the smallest little details can make the biggest difference. I'm going to take the shade Familia here. And I'm just putting that in this outer corner. Again, I'm just kind of layering things because I want to use as many as I can. I'm going to take this shade here called Aspiration, and that's going in this outer corner as well. I did take a smaller brush to do this with, just because I want to take it just a little further. I'm going to take Blackest Black in the outer corner as well. Now, do you need to do all this? Absolutely not. There is no need of layering all this. Layering a couple shadows will help give you that depth and the dimension that you're looking for. I'm mostly doing this for me, just to play with some shadows. Yeah, that's all. I'm going to take Serenity here. This is the repeating shade from the Star palette, I believe. And this is kind of going toward the center. And I love that shade. That's like one of my shades that, like, before I really got heavily into makeup, those were the shades I wore all the time. Okay, now I'm going to take the shade Babies. And I am doing this on my finger, by the way. I don't know if I said that before. And this is going on the inner portion. So beautiful, so simple, so easy. So I'm going to clean up the edges with makeup wipe. And then just one more little thing I want to do. I'm going to take Blackest Black again, and I'm going to do a little bit of a line and maybe wing. Knowing me, it's going to be a wing. And I'm taking it on a liner brush. Okay, let me show you why I do that. Do you see how this eye is just lifted because of that wing? It just makes such a difference. Like, this eye kind of looks a little bit more tired than this one, just in comparison. And I like doing it on a brush because I don't take up as much lid space, and I have a little bit more control with the brush, and I just like it a little bit better. So that's why I do the wing. And a tip, if you mess up on the edge here, it's okay. Just take your makeup wipe and wipe it off. And that's with eyeshadow, a liner, whatever. Just do that before you do your actual makeup, like face makeup, and it's a lot easier. I don't think I need to say it, but I love it. So I am excited to play with some of the more purple tones and cooler tones in this palette too. But I feel like I have a really nice neutral kind of look going on today, and I really like that. So I'll be right back in just a second, and we'll keep on going because this isn't all I got. Okay, I'm back. I used e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. I put some Charlotte Tilbury under my eyes. I set the rest of my face with my Kimchi Puff Puff Fast Powder. I'm almost out of this. I bronzed with my L'Oreal Bronze Please bronzer. I love this bronzer. I think it is such a good, like, warm bronzer, but it's not like orangey warm. Like, I hate orange bronzer. I hate it, but this is good. For eyebrows, I did my normal NYX pencil, Lipton Snatch, and Thick It Stick It. So it's all NYX today. For mascara, I'm wearing my Benefit Roller Lash. Haven't worn this in a while. And then for lashes, I put on the Daydreamer lashes from my Michaela and Glam Palette collection. I hadn't worn these yet, so I went ahead and put those on. And I believe that's all I've done so far. So let's talk. Let's finish the eyes. Let's go ahead and finish those. Whoops. And then once we finish the eyes, we'll move on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take this Aspiration shade, and I'm just going to push that up against the lower lash line. I think I'm going to buff that out with Carpe Diem here. And then on the inner portion, I'm going to take Babies and just put that just here on this inner portion. One more thing I want to do is take this Spontaneous shade, and I'm going to put that in the super, super inner corner here, just to brighten that up. Some people think this is redundant. I love the neutral. It's like one of my favorite things in the world. So I love it. I'm in love. So I have nothing bad to say about this. Natasha Denona's formula is always amazing. Absolutely it is my favorite. I'm not going to say one of, it is my favorite eyeshadow formula. I love Natasha Denona. So if you don't have Natasha Denona, I feel like this is a really good starter. Really good. So I also got the Natasha Denona My Dream Cheek Trio. It's a blush and highlighter palette. So here's what it looks like. You have a cream blush, a glow cream base, and then you have a Dream Glow powder. So I'm going to swatch. Okay, so here are swatches. This is the blush, highlighter, or I'm sorry, the glow cream base, and this is the Dream Glow. So this almost feels like a powder, but it is a cream blush. And then the glow cream base feels like water almost. It's a very strange consistency, and it almost feels like kind of like it won't dry down. And then there's this Dream Glow, which is more of a powdery, creamy powder. I think I kind of know how she was wanting like this as the base, because it's the glow cream base, and then this on top to, you know, make it all work. So that's what we're gonna do. So after feeling this, I feel like I can use a brush with it, which I use a brush with a lot of my cream blushes. So I'm just going to, and that is pigmented. Can you guys see that? Wow, pretty. I almost feel like this should be applied with a finger. I think I will. I'm gonna do it with a finger. I really didn't think it was gonna dry down, but it feels maybe the slightest bit tacky, but not anything like what I thought it was gonna feel like. Okay, so here's just that base by itself, and here is the base and the powder. So can you see the difference here? It's a little bit more intense over here, and you can almost tell the difference a little bit more in person than you can on what I'm seeing in camera. So then I'm going to take that Dream Glow and I'm going to highlight a brow bone and inner corner. Okay, so eyes are finished, cheeks are finished, one last little area to finish, and that's the lips. So she had 3 lip products come out. Now they're all in the limited edition packaging, so they all have that little paint splatter on them. Sorry for the sirens in the background, I can't control them, but this doesn't have a paint splatter, but it has that like nude and black, and then the gloss has the paint splatter as well. So I'm pretty sure that the lipstick and the liner were existing. They're both in the shade Natasha, from the I Need a Nude collection, and then the lip gloss I believe is new. I'm not 100% sure on that, so I could be completely wrong. I actually absolutely love her lip glosses. I think they are some of the best. I have just one other one that I purchased, and I love it so much. It's in my purse, so I've told you before, if it's in my purse, that means I love it. I'm going to line with this. So here it is on my lips, and then here is a swatch. And then I'm going in with the lipstick. I love her lipsticks. This is how it closes. Has a magnetic closure. I love that. So pretty. Here's the lipstick on the lips and the shade here. So it's just a tiny bit lighter than, just a tiny bit lighter than the liner, which with a perfect nude, that's kind of what you want. So I really like this. Finally, the gloss. The gloss is really pretty, really juicy and shiny. Here is a swatch next to the lipstick itself. So they are just a little bit different, but all very nice together. So again, I don't think I need to say it, but I love the palette. It is a new favorite. Will it top the Glam Palette? We will see. I don't know. But I do absolutely love this shade here. The Serenity shade. Love Spontaneous. That is so gorgeous. Love Babies. Like, there's just so many good shades in here. Good staple shades. And this is just like a really well-grounded palette. And I can understand why this would be her dream palette. So, really love this so very much. And it's definitely one of my favorites for sure. I can already tell you that it's already going to be one of my favorites. So I just really love this, and I love the look I was able to create today. It's very simple but very kind of smoky a little bit. I really love it. So, and I forgot to put water. I forgot to put liner in my waterline, but I'm not even gonna worry about it. It's still very beautiful, and if I did, it would look even more smoky. So I love this. I love the packaging, love everything about it. If you purchase this separately, it is the palette itself is $69, which I believe her midi palettes, which is what this size is, used to be $65, if I'm not mistaken. Am I wrong about that? I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it used to be $65. Everything in the world has gone up, so of course makeup is going up as well. So I'm assuming that that's probably part of it. There's also a triochrome, or not necessarily, like I think she calls it a multi-chrome shade in here, so that may be another reason that it's so expensive. I don't know, but it's $69. Again, it's not a cheap thing. I find it is worth it. I always used to say, I don't need Natasha Denona, you know, it's so pricey, but I tried it and fell head over heels. The lipstick, I love this lipstick. It's so beautiful, so gorgeous. If I was gonna wear this, I would just wear this and the liner and probably leave the gloss off, just because I don't feel like it needs it. It's really creamy and nice, and I really love it. So it's the Voluptuous Creamy Hydrating Lip color. So I really love this one. If you're going to buy this by itself, it's $27. Again, very pricey. Natasha is not known for being inexpensive by any means. So I still love it. So this is limited edition packaging, but if you already own the Natasha shade, this is the same. It's just the packaging is different. The gloss, I do love the gloss. So if I was gonna wear the gloss, I would just do the liner and the gloss. That's kind of like my thing. I like to do liner and gloss. So this is a beautiful gloss. I love this. It is kind of like more of a cooler tone, but even with my warmer eye, which I have some, you know, warmer in the crease, it still goes. I feel like it still looks good. So I really love this. I think it is gorgeous. I love the feel of it on the lips. It smells delicious. It smells good enough to eat, and just so nice and creamy and smooth and juicy looking, and yeah, love this. So Lusciously Soft and Hydrating Lip Shine, this is $27 as well. So again, not cheap by any means. The I Need a Nude, a lip crayon. I love her lip liners. They are probably some of my favorites. When I first got it, I was kind of like, what do I think about this? Because if you know, like, Juvia's Place is kind of my favorite lip liner, and it's very inexpensive. You can get it at Ulta. But trying her lip liners, they are super creamy, super smooth. I love the shade of this one. Really love the shade of this one. So I'm very happy with it, and I do, again, love this shade even with my eye. I think it still kind of goes. So if you want this by itself, it's $24. And last but definitely not least is this cream blush, or the Dream Cheek Trio, sorry. I love this. I think it is gorgeous. I think it is so beautiful. It really kind of surprises me how much I really do like this, because I didn't think I was going to. I'm more of a like peachy blush type of person, and even normally with an eye like this, I would go with like a warmer tone blush. I like this though. I like how it kind of pairs together. Call me crazy, but I love her cream blush formula. Like, it's not super creamy, so it's not disrupting underneath. I don't feel like I have to, like, I can use it over powder and be just fine. Use it with a brush and it works great. I love this. Love it so very much. It is so smooth and just effortless. This middle, the glow cream base really took me by surprise. I think I could even see myself wearing this just by itself. It looks so beautiful and just so natural, like glowing from within, just with the base on. And I thought that it was not going to dry down just how it felt like in the swatch, but actually I think it will. Just after applying it with a finger, I think a finger is a really good application tool for that in particular. And I really like how that did. This one here, the Dream Glow, absolutely gorgeous. Nothing bad to say about it. I just find that I like the base a little bit better, and honestly I thought the base was going to be one that I didn't like, so very surprised by this one, and I really enjoy it. So if I had to pick a favorite, it would be the eyeshadow palette, and this would be a close second for sure. However, I love everything. I love it all. So if you were waiting to say, you know, should I get this? What is everybody else saying about it? Is it worth it? You know, like if you have a lot of Natasha Denona palettes and you're not necessarily a collector, you're just, you know, wanting to see if this is something that you need in your collection, if it's going to be something different. It's not going to be anything too different. It's neutrals, and it has a little bit of a pop of purple, so especially if you own like Glam and Retro, you probably have all you need. But there are some distinctive qualities about this palette as well. So there's those like the multi-chrome and the duochromes, you know, so that's in there. If you're just a collector like me and you want to get it, absolutely go for it. Natasha is always going to hold a soft spot in my heart, and I love this palette. So I can't wait to do a look with the like more purple toned and especially the multi-chrome. I think that'll be a very beautiful look. I just wanted to do something a little bit different because everybody else was using that, so I wanted to go a little bit of a different direction with this one. So yeah, I think I covered everything. I hope I did anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my little spiel about everything. I did get the collection as a whole, and I think it was a $147 altogether. So I saved maybe a little bit. I can't remember if it was a savings or not, or if they just bundle it and you pay the same price. I can't remember. But yeah, I did get the bundle, and I'm pretty sure it was $147, I believe. So makeup is expensive. I've not been buying as much, even though it probably looks like it. I did purchase that Michaela collection back in July, and I've had a few little purchases here or there at the drugstore, but no major purchases until this one, and this is a pretty major one. So as far as holiday releases go, I won't be picking up a lot of holiday releases. This one is just like an of course on my list because I love Natasha Denona. So if you've been around, you know that it's no surprise to you. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you are staying safe, happy, and healthy. I am a little bit under the weather, so if you hear that, I apologize. I should have said that at the beginning, but I'm always apologizing for something. So I have just some congestion going on, seasonal allergies, you know, the changing of the weather and all that great stuff. So no complaints here. I love fall, so I'm not complaining. It's just aggravating to have to deal with this stuff. So thank you guys for watching. Stay safe, happy, and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.